Hello everyone and welcome back to Queer Arcana, this time chapter 5 of episode 7. I'm starting this broadcast with a bit of sad news as we unfortunately lost the rest of the home session that Eclaire, Maru and Jessica were playing. The files got corrupted, unfortunately. And how we solved this is we planned another session. We told them and we explained the situation, and they were very willing to play another session. And we discussed about, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to play the same session again? And then you can maybe make different choices or whatever. And they said no. Let's just create a voiceover for what happened during the session that we played, and let's do another session afterwards. So what you're going to be listening to is now going to be a time skip. So I will be explaining how the timeline goes after these first few announcements that we're going to make. First of all, I want to guide your attention to the Patreon. Again, that we have the Patreon pays for the advertisements, and it helps us put more work into the socials. A lot of the back-end things that make Queer Arcana happen are funded by the Patreon. So please, if you want, try and support us like that. That really helps us. We are also going to start from the 16th of January. We're going to start a live stream. We're now meeting on the 6th of January to see all the equipment, what is going to happen when we put that together. And we're just going to very low-key, going to start putting out some content, put out some feelers, interact with you guys, see what's happening. So that is going to be coming up, and I think that's going to be really fun. It's an easier way for us to produce content, an easier way to get in contact with you, and also show a little bit more of ourselves. So I think it's nice that you get to know us all a little bit more. Talking about getting to know us, we also have a Discord. That link is here in the YouTube channel. So if you want to get to know us better, do not shy away to join us on the Discord. We're freely available, and you can make use of that, ask questions of behind the scenes, see what we do in our own drag, and tell us about yourself. We'd love to get to know you. So that is for the announcements. So first, recap for the previous session. You followed the people in Arlevo, Aravos, Ruddy, Vanity, and Eli. They concluded their storyline over there. They found a way out of Montclair with a halfling artifice seller, and they also figured out a little bit more to Aravos' backstory, a little bit to perhaps the path that is in front of Aravos. They went to a temple that is deeply connected to their culture. So that happened over there. And they discovered that Maru is alive because a bird found its way to Montclair and to Arlevo, and they found the robin. Very cool. Very nice. So that happened in their storyline. So what I will now be explaining is what happened at the time when people in Arlevo were traveling back to the LaVornes mansion. So when the other group was traveling back to the mansion, the Jessica, Eclaire, and Maru group, they went to Lovidia to try and find Lydia Bukaloft, a powerful illusion witch. On the way, the group fights a basilisk in the Lovidian forest, deducting that now that the Lovidian forests are not ruled by witches anymore, there is a basilisk infestation. And when they reach their destination, they see that Lovidia is heavily guarded and ready for an event. A delegation of the Witches Association is arriving together with Imelda's swan familiar, Ada Lucy, who was keeping an eye on things. They know that Lydia is hidden somewhere in Lovidia, but they do not know where. Eclaire comes out of hiding from the forest line and uses her authority with the guards to persuade the guards to go fight the basilisk infestation in the woods. The group then infiltrates Lovidia and sees that one of the witches from the Witches' Convention is giving a presentation, promoting the selling of the Dawn crystals, which function as sort of purity rings for witches, with which they can pledge to not use magic for causes not benefiting the state. Apparently, witches can also pay off their Dawn crystals, who are normally 300 gold, by performing services for the Witches' Association. During the presentation given by the association, which they mysteriously see civilians disappearing through illusionary walls in houses. They enter one of the illusionary spaces in one of the houses and they see a lot of precarious witches hiding from the guards. The group finds out that the whole town is under the influence of a Mirage Arcane, a large illusion spell. However, Imelda Swan spots the group and starts honking. The association which was giving the presentation notices this and wants to report the group's location to Imelda Violet, but she gets dragged off into one of the illusionary walls by a group of witches in hiding and mysteriously disappears, so she gets captured. After the group is safe again, the group heads to the Lovidian church and after a series of illusionary traps, find Lydia. Lydia and a whole conclave of various powerful Lovidian witches are still active in protecting Lovidia and are the ones casting the Mirage Arcane on the town every day. The group explains the precarious situation the LaVornes family is in and asks if the group can seek shelter in Lovidia. Lydia explains that that is not possible, as Lovidia is already at max capacity when it comes to hiding people, and the LaVornes are too big of a target right now. The group barters with Lydia to give them a way of hiding the house. Lydia gives the group one scroll of Mirage Arcane, a spell which creates a magical illusion for a mile wide, the same spell also cast on Lovidia. However, it will only last 10 days. As payment, Maru tells them the method of casting the gigantic protection spell with which Lovidia was saved during the battle against the Combustion Corps in the Great War. Maru had to solve this arcane spell during one of her visions while traveling through the spirit world, and thus could recite the way it should be performed. After making this trade, they headed back home with mixed feelings. No way yet for the LaVornes family to flee, but now they might have a way to buy themselves more time before the Alberian Empire and the Witches' Association comes for them. And that is where we will join the story.
After your 1.5-day trek back to the LaVornes mansion from the north of Doran, from Lovidia, you make your way back on the cart. The donkey's very exhausted, and you wheel into the gardens. The decrepit mansion is still there, and as you step out with your treasure box, including the spell scroll of 7th level of Mirage Arcane, and a newly written by you, Maru, and Lydia, combination of the arcane ward that once protected the Lividian forest.
Okay, let's go inside quickly.
Good idea.
Margot, they're back! Huzzah!
Hey!
The door swings open and Margot stands there, frizzled hair, like,
Hey, hello!
Hey!
Oh, I'm so good that you're back. How was it?
Pretty successful.
Oh, I see you carrying
Yeah.
something shiny.
Yeah. Shall we go inside
So-
for
Yeah,
safety?
Come.
yes, come
Okay,
in.
okay.
As you'll stand there, Virgo, like, quickly mage hands everything off the fucking table, makes way for the treasure box. So, did you meet Lydia?
Yeah, we
You
did.
did.
Oh, how is
She's
she?
still there.
Cranky.
To give you the full recap,
Well,
we
that's how I
went into
remember
the
her.
town and we saw that there were exactly a couple of cards. These cards were actually guided away thanks to a clever disguise from us all and a basilisk. But at that point, what we did was that we found out that in the walls of the city, people actually live and try to change. So at this point, they are in the church, and they are in the church waiting for something to happen, and we talk to them there because they are hiding.
Okay,
Oh
okay,
my- oh.
okay.
So there's still a resistance.
Yes, there is still a resistance going.
What a very small part, though.
Lydia, that sneaky bitch.
Well, apparently she's kept a lot of people safe. I mean, like,
She was nice.
she's done well.
Eh,
Okay.
But so can we go
Well,
there?
No,
Can we be safe there as well?
We
we can't.
Why not?
Because there are guards.
Oh, yeah, that does make it kind of difficult.
we got this scroll of a spell. I already forgot.
It's a big illusion.
It's been 5 minutes. I'm
Well,
sorry.
It's an illusion spell.
It's an illusion spell. They can't harbor all of us in Lavidia, so I exchanged kind of the scroll with the sigils of this protection spell that we used to cast during
Exactly.
the war.
I see. So wait, open it up. Let me see.
Here. I'll give it to you.
And she kind of takes the treasure box. She opens it up. There is a scroll, and it does seem to be arcane in nature. This is very high level. I'm not sure I can actually cast this.
Well, I've been looking at it during our trip, and these symbols look kind of familiar, but I cannot quite. I feel like I've seen them before, but I don't know. But maybe we can figure something out together.
As she kind of rolls it open, she's like nodding slowly as you see a plan forming in her head. Says, "Yes, I think that'll work." Look up here. It seems like it'll take a long time to cast. Might be a full day preparing this in a sense, but okay. Plan of attack. There have been legionnaires spotted around crossing the north of Brovnoya. Seems like they're headed our way, so this is perfect. You three think of what we're going to do with this. In the meantime, I will set up a circle so that you, Maru, and I, maybe you want to help as well, Margot, we can actually cast this and set up this illusory space
This
around
looks kind
us.
of brainy. I'm not sure.
Fine,
No,
then
no,
just
no.
make us team.
We need you.
Oh, okay.
You have a unique skill set.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
We're in this together, right?
I think I can give it a try.
I know you can do it.
Who knows?
Oh my
Just
god!
like the good old days.
Well, you used to do a lot of spellcasting,
I
you know?
did, I
used to
did.
run around butt naked with my friends, like
Oh,
dressing up
Margot?
as deers, and it was like beautiful, and did beautiful
Ow.
spellcasting to the moon.
Margot.
Didn't do anything in the house. Well, chop chop. You bring up a plan. I'll create the circle, and we'll reconvene in an
Okay,
hour.
sure.
I'm getting the crystals!
The crazy aunt is getting the crystals.
So Virgo rushes upstairs. Margot rushes upstairs. She's like, "Ooh, crystals." So you were all left in the common room near the kitchen, as you'll have to draw up a plan of what you're going to do with this Mirage Arcane Illusion spell.
Okay, let's all sit down and have a good think about this.
Yeah. It seems Virgo's written down some requirements that she's ascertained from the spell scroll. It seems that you can change something within 1 mile, a 1 mile square radius, so quite a lot of range. You can change natural terrain to any other natural terrain, and it will sound, look, feel just the same as what you're illusioning. So if you create like a mountain, there will be a mountain for the next 10 days. So you basically can change anything natural into something other natural, or you can create houses or other structures which are illusory but will feel
And a
real.
maximum of 5 Michael Bay explosions.
But you can't create people, right?
You can't create the limitation of the spell is that you can't hide or create creatures as illusions. So it's only structures and natural stuff.
Now the big question.
You could, for example, change your house into a mountain or into a hill, like the house is not there anymore, and create a fake house like 100 meters
But then
further to the west.
So, how do we know that the illusion will not work for us? Maru, How do you think that works?
What do you mean? Will not work for us?
Well, we'll say the house isn't there, but then we will also see the house disappear as an
No,
illusion.
because we know that it's an illusion. So it's gonna be fine. You're taking way too broad.
It seems. Make me an insight or an Arcana check, every 3 of you, because this is a high-level spell. There's a lot of text on it, and it's easy to misunderstand. And it'll be very funny if you do it wrong.
1, 2, 3. 1,
Yep.
2,
Oh.
3.
No,
Dear listeners,
No.
wizard
So
people.
you all,
that's because of your damn crystals.
There is.
so you all
Plus 2.
rolled.
Yeah.
Oh, I have
Okay,
like.
so you rolled a 4.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone rolled extremely shitty, and this is just brain-boggling, this high level of a spell. You don't know how this works. Maybe you will know that it's an
Yeah.
illusion. Maybe you won't.
You're the Powerpuff Girls created with dumb juice.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
feeling it.
1, 2, 3.
We'll just have to risk it.
Exactly.
We don't have any time to.
We don't.
Isn't it the best then to make, well, a mountain on the space where the house now is, but in that mountain we do make sure that there is a cavern or something leading to the house. So this way
that.
there will always be the possibility that if it is an illusion that we also see, we have a secret entrance.
You have to imagine it as such. Like you have, like let's say, like you have a Lego landscape, right? Super stupid analogy. You have a Lego landscape. You can plonk any sort of other house, building, or natural Lego brick on top of it, and then everything you put on top of that original landscape disappears after 10 days. You can't like make a mountain disappear. You can make it seem like it disappears, right?
Yeah, you can't actually make it disappear.
Oh my god, how about a huge ass pond? I mean, if you make a huge pond like a huge lake, we could still go in the lake, and I don't believe we will actually drown. But people who are gonna go in the lake who are not us, will probably not go into a lake, because you know,
Make me an
nobody
Arcana
can
check.
swim anyway in these days.
Make me an Arcana check,
No, we're
Jessica.
good. That's good logic right there.
Great logic.
As you look over the spell scroll, try and ascertain whether you're right.
It's a
What is it?
7.
Oh no.
7?
Plus,
Seems like a
Maybe-
great idea.
Maybe you'll drown.
Maybe you'll drop, maybe you probably not. Probably yes, but hey.
I love high level.
with with my armor, I'm not going to try and rust it or get myself drowned, but
But how about we make a pond with a tunnel underneath that goes to the house?
You can definitely do that.
You kids are wild.
What?
See?
What? Maybe we should, because it would be nice if there was an actual illusionary house there, because it's also kind of strange to just have like that house randomly disappear, because people probably know we live in this area. So maybe we can combine an illusionary copy of our house with some unappealing terrain. Maybe we can put our house on a little island and surround it by water or a crevice.
Uh-huh.
I do believe that if we put unlovely terrain next to our fake house, and people will maybe look through this. They will go, that house, nobody's there. They must be somewhere else. Where will they go? That's unpleasant terrain. What's the first place people are going to look? The unpleasant terrain, because that's the place where you go and hide if you don't want to be found.
We can make it look
It's also-
like we just fled. I mean,
There's 2 things to keep in mind here. A is nobody ever sees this level of magic. Like, this is like... I don't think anybody knows this level of magic exists. Like, Virgo was like, what the fuck is this? So that's good to keep in mind. Second is, you live in such a desolate area that there's like 2 farmers that can sort of vaguely see your house in the distance from their window, but northeast Doran is so desolate, you're basically the only one still living close to the fine line. So there's like an area of, I think, 50 square miles where your house could be if someone were to look for it. There's not a clear path towards it or something.
I've got the perfect plan.
Here it comes.
you do?
Yes, I do.
Here we go.
Okay, imagine this. You see a vast forest before you.
Fast
It's
forest.
pretty dark. You're like, huh, there are probably some witches over here. Where to find? But there are like a million trees, right? But there's only one tree. that has a black rock next to it, and that's the entrance to the house. And only we're gonna know it.
I've got another
We made
idea.
spell.
We're thinking about natural elements. Maru, which arcane natural elements are there? Trees, ground, fire, and...
I don't understand where you
Water.
want me to go with this
Okay,
at
so
all.
this is happening. Jessica is just, she's like acting this whole thing out. She's
It's
painting the picture in
amazing.
the room, and then Eclaire is sort of like, no, we should do this, and going like full mathematics mode. And Maru is just standing there looking at these two people fantasize, and she doesn't know what to do with this.
one
Maru,
of those
choose the
gifts.
forest.
And can it only be one thing, or can we say we do a forest and we put 3 different LaVornes houses in there? And
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
Oh, see?
You could basically make you can make like 10 huge statues of Jessica Gale.
Oh,
That's also
this is
possible.
amazing. I'm down for that.
okay,
So let me just get this straight. You, Jessica, want to make, because I think it's funny if Maru has to choose. So you, Jessica, want as an option just make a big willow forest, for example, or pine forest or whatever, and then have one particular tree with a black bush, and have like an incaving into the ground where the house would be or something. Yeah. And you, Eclaire, want to make a hill or a large hill over the house that covers the entire
that covers
house.
the entire mileage.
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay, that can definitely be done. You do live in like a hillside area, so that doesn't seem probably too suspicious. You would like basically raise the entire hillsides to also cover so that your house is underground, then basically, and have a house on top of that hill. Is that right?
Yes.
And then have some sort of crevasse or chute basically that you can slide down into the underground
Yeah, like
area.
Peter Pan.
Is that right? Okay, and then your house, Jessica, would be hidden by like rock or
Exactly.
something.
A gigantic rock. That
So
would be...
both options are put on the table. Maru, everyone kind of looks towards you to make a decision. Doesn't seem like Eclaire and Jessica will
Ever agree.
Ever agree.
okay. Well, I think both ideas have very fair points, but
Thank you.
maybe we can kind of squish them together, because I think it's really smart to use something to put the house subterranean. I think that if we can make our surroundings as confusing as possible with an illusionary house and maybe some trees, that would give us the best of all of the options. Don't give me that look.
How am I looking?
One...
You are giving me like this teenage girl scowl.
I'm the DM and I'm fucking lost.
Yeah. So let's keep pace to this because I do want to continue slowly.
All right, how can we help casting this spell?
I don't think you can. But I
Well,
love you.
Let's go give it to Virgo and Margot then. So
well,
they can
Okay.
start a spell.
what's also important is that we find a way to communicate this to the others, that we're changing our entire...
Oh God, I didn't think of that.
I
About that.
Did I just break the game?
Yeah, we're gonna quit. This was the show, everybody. Bye.
No, we'll find a way.
Well, how
This is funny.
about we let Margot just send a bird or something to them and, tell them about the plan?
Okay.
Exactly.
You do know that Margot has been sending out birds as of late, quite wide to see around the fine line if there's any sort of life. So perhaps you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
maybe. Why don't you go talk to Margot, and then
Let's
I'll
all go.
help Virgo finish up with the remainder of the spell.
Okay. So as you do, you kind of walk up the stairs with the spell scroll and the notes. You're like, mad genius! I've
Don't
got it."
forget my notes.
As you kind of walk up, enter the room, and Virgo is there laying out this immense, layered over sort of 5 different circles around the teleportation circle that she has herself, which is in the center of her room. She seems to be covered in like books strewn around her chambers, and then says, come in. Have you figured it out yet?"
I think we came up with a semi-solid plan with the 3 of us.
Sorry, but this just sounds like every group project ever. Sort of like everybody getting no, and then the group leader going like, ooh.
This sucks.
Please grade us fairly.
So, Good.
So we were thinking changing the terrain, a combination of a hill to hide our current house under with an access point, so we can make our way in and out of the house. Maybe cover
Yes.
it with trees within the entire radius to kind of make accessing the center of this space a little bit more disorienting and confusing.
Maru's death brain just
My-
sinks in.
with a
We're-
rock.
we're still
She
gonna put
goes
the house
full
on top?
zombie for a bit.
Oh, yeah. We want to put a decoy house in there somewhere and then hide our real house subterranean, cover it by trees to just make it as confusing and inaccessible looking as possible.
You look at Virgo and she's kind of like nerding out so hard. She's kind of like grinning, like, that's great.
Cool, right?
Virgo's a little nerd, isn't she?
Fucking nerd. As you tell it, she starts to draw it and says, "All right, then I think we're ready to cast.
Great.
Ready? Margot!"
Margot comes
pops out
in
of it.
with Jessica and Eclaire. Says, okay, wait, so let me get it right. There's like a black rock with a tree. Or,
Yeah, very specific. A black rock with a
They're
tree.
both telling very different things. But okay, do we have it clear? If you two have it in your mind, then I'll just assist with my magic.
All right. So Maru, Virgo, and Margot kind of sit around the circle and all hold hands as incense is drawn throughout the room.
Let's role play this.
I can't.
Give me your hand, bitch.
Can't we also do something with magic?
As you sit around the room, multiple a sort of chanting goes up, and there's a brief moment where you see a bright light sort of in the center of the room. This purplish light kind of meshing with a pinkish light, and then with a green. All of your spell energies kind of combining as it sort of juts out almost into this aurora.
Hold on.
Around the room. The entire room is lit up, and then slowly you see it forming into a almost holographic representation of the entire mileage
I think
around
we need to
you.
roll for it. Because
what?
it's a 7-level spell, and we don't know if it'll succeed because we're spell scrolling it.
Sure. Shall I
Don't
roll?
you
Yeah.
dare
Can't we-
fail
Wow.
us!
This is I'm playing.
What could go wrong?
Okay.
How bad,
Everyone
how bad
roll?
was it?
How we're doing it? Okay, so Virgo is casting the spell. She is as of
Yeah. Virgo did just succeed because she has a +10.
Damn.
And
Where did you get a plus?
I think
These
I'm gonna quit.
NPCs
on the
are
sheet.
broken, man.
I'm gonna quit.
Virgo has a +10 as well.
I'm gonna do better. Oh. I just rolled a natural 17. I think. I guess Margot's just a little bit more talented, though. No.
But
You
you're
roll,
only a
Maru.
sister.
What do I roll exactly?
This is a spellcasting check, so you need to make a 17.
My fictional woman is amazing.
And you add your charisma plus your proficiency modifier. So add your +6, I believe.
15.
Oh.
Everyone succeeds on the spellcasting check with a 17 DC. As you slowly, all three of you, start to alter this aurora-like terrain in the room. You kind of stand up, and like as you pull a mountain, it kind of extends slightly, and you see outside the mountain as well.
Here
Like,
it is.
sort of curving.
everybody-
You kind of swat
Oh,
away
God.
Some sort of water as it
What
kind
is
of spreads
happening?
around.
This is
As
definitely
you
forbidden
hear
magic.
a lot of sound outside, and then you see as you create a hill over your house, kind of the entire sun around you. The room goes dark except for this beautiful purplish greenish aurora inside of the room. As your house is encased by this rock and this hill, which seems to grow everywhere around you in this 1 mile
Oh,
radius.
what have we done?
And then you hear almost this fabrication sound as seeming you start to build a house on top of the hill, a decoy house, and a chute surrounded by shrubbery that leads into the actual house underground, and then a small tunnel which leads very far away from the house and exits into some shrubbery.
I'm gonna run towards the entrance of the house to the door,
Yeah.
just open it, and
It's dark. It's
Touch.
like earth.
touch the earth. Like,
As you do, your hands kind of come round for a moment as kind of this mud falls away. It is
Wow,
completely
this is really
real.
weird.
Wow.
oh. You guys, the illusion also works on us.
Jessica,
guess
you
so.
instantly think like, oh my god, I won't be able to sunbathe anymore.
We should have stuck with the
Oh,
trees.
well. So I guess we're sort of like stuck underground
Everything's
now?
dark.
Well, there's a way in and out. We've designed it that way.
Okay, well. Still doesn't really change the fact that... How long would this spell last, Virgo?
10 days.
Well, after 10 days, this all beautiful little landscape that's covering us is gonna be gone. I mean, like, we've granted ourselves 10 days of time, but after then what?
Well, we have to clear our names in those 10 days.
We have to prove that Imelda is practically framing us at this point.
If only we had someone who had a last name for Mavis.
If only
Princess Mavis.
What do the Mavis have to do with anything?
the Mavis. I might go to my family and ask them for help. They never killed me, so they might help.
Oh, that's great.
Sounds like a plan.
Wait. So your family serves the Emperor, right?
Yes, of course we do.
Who might be planning an attack on us.
Uh-huh.
Actually, we did get a letter this morning. I wasn't sure whether I'd show it to you now,
no.
but it mentioned you, Eclaire.
Who?
Well, it's addressed to Vanity, from a Velma Voss from Brognoia.
That name rings a bell, and it is a roll of a dice.
Well, you would know this is like 5 days
Oh,
ago.
what is it? Tell me.
I know, in like a week. Velmer Voss is the scribe. It's the old man with the Icelandic accent. That was the scribe of Vanity's house, or Vanity's royal house, basically. So when you went to in the first home session, you went to Vanity's home, and you found out that the master of the house, Charles Dubois, was missing, and the servants were basically running it. Velmer Voss was like the one who was who you first met.
The guy doing
Yeah.
the estate.
She kind of hands you the letter, and as you scroll it open, I'll read it to you. It says, Lady Vanity. Wait, I need to do it in his voice, right?
Lady Vanity, it is I, Velmer Voss, writing you from your estate in Brognoia. We've managed to steer clear of further prying eyes, for now, after the disappearance of the 2 Empire soldiers. But more importantly, Sophia is healthy again. A wonder above all, your friend Eclaire is truly a kind and good soul. I hope you have returned safely to the far north of Doran. However, I write you with great urge, for I fear something strange is afoot. Sophia has informed me that she noticed that some of the wares being shipped from Lavidia to Alberia were different than usual. She believes that a great number of gunpowder barrels are being transported from the Lavidian mines to Nice, instead of the usual silver and iron. The Empire has not yet before required such large quantities of gunpowder, thus I fear for what it will be used for. Perhaps this information will be useful to you. Regardless, we pray for your safe return. Velmer Voss, your loyal scribe.
Well,
What?
your parents have
where-
connections to the trade routes, not?
Yes.
Well, but where do they live, if I might
Septon.
ask? Don't put we're
No,
not going
no,
to Septon.
Why not?
That's across the border.
Well, we have to
You're
go
being
there.
looked for. Surely, Septon is the border city. Well, if I could, like, magically hop you there, then sure, maybe you could hide or something. But if you can't go across the border...
Could you vouch for us? Could you...
make me an intelligence check with advantage, Eclaire.
Oh, intelligence.
Have you seen me?
Intelligence. That's...
Yeah, you wouldn't know
Where
this.
is my intelligence? That is a total of 9.
Oh,
Total of 9?
Yes.
You remember very vaguely that there was... Because your house is magical, basically. House Mavis is the only family within the Alberian Empire, or within Alberia at least, that has some sort of form of magical ability. So all your brothers and sisters are paladine as well, and they are all magically gifted in some sense and military trained. You do know that in the cellar there is an old circle that used to be used by the mother of your family before your mother for transportation. So basically a sort of teleportation circle. However, you're not sure you know the combination.
You know, my house, it's quite lovely. It's marble and it's golden decorations, and there is this cell where I was playing, and my grandmother, she made a circle there, a circle of golden inlay. It was quite the fashion then to have a transportation device, I suppose.
Oh!
But, excuse me, but that is quite advanced witchcraft.
So what's the combination?
What's the combination might be a combination of numbers, signals, and other devices.
Well, that doesn't really help. Doran has a lot more witches than Alberia. I mean, like, there are some, but of course, Alberia heavily frowns on magic.
Do you have a transportation thing like this?
You're standing on it right now, and as you look on the ground, the sigils that are carved in this purplish gemstone in the dark floorboards of Virgo's room, they are a teleportation circle, but which you know, but which the rest of you know at least, but it's never used because there's no other circle to teleport to anymore. Most were destroyed during the war.
Teleportation it's a very expensive business. I mean, like, there used to be, before the war, there used to be more skilled witches, and it is high level magic, and it takes a lot of money, and witches are very impoverished in this land. So I think we might actually be the only one in Doran that has one.
Wonderful.
I mean, like, there's nowhere to teleport to. I mean, like, apparently from...
There are places that we can go to. The one thing is that these arcane signals, we should translate them so we can actually...
Well, whoever made it has some sort of combination. We can't just guess that, but do you perhaps know anyone who frequents that room? Maybe a cleaner or a guard?
The teacher. Our teacher went there all the time to learn us magic. He was called Rolls of Septon. He was the...
So he frequents that place?
Yes.
Well, we can try and scry on him. If we can get a good look at that room, then perhaps we could...
that is devilish.
I know, right? It's so exciting.
Let's do
I haven't
it.
done this in
Well-
ages.
So we have a name of this person to scry on.
Can you perhaps draw them for us? I'd have an easier time pinpointing them
Rolls of Septon.
if
I can...
I have like an image of sorts.
I have had some drawing classes as a child, but I suppose that I should keep in mind the abstract, the inspiration, the concept, and of course also the way they look.
I think, Eclaire, I know, from the brief time I've seen you, you can do this. And I'll cast Bardic Inspiration on Eclaire.
Hey, there we go. Okay, as you feel incredibly inspired by these inspiring words, roll me a performance check and add 1d6 to it.
Nice.
Plus 2, because you have a high charisma.
Oh,
So that's 23 on your drawing check of Rolls of Septon.
Ooh.
And Eclaire just goes into this frenzy of artistic expression. And as Eclaire like kind of breathes out and comes off the paper, you see a very, very, very realistic portrait of what seems to be a
My
Alberian
God,
man.
Eclaire, that's quite marvelous.
He's wearing like a yellow mustard-like vest, a green coat, a short, like kind of receding blonde hair, and has a kind of a kind but very square looking muscular face. Rather old. You give it to Virgo, and she says, "All right, well, here it goes." And she kind of focuses on it. The page starts glowing. Her eyes start glowing like this violet, purplish color. And the arcane sigil around the room lights up and then shows very faintly this first clacking of boots, and then and I'm going to roll.
Virgo, what are you seeing?
Oh, that was very good. As you see this person, Rolls of Septon, with 3 books under his arm, walking through these immaculate, almost marble, winding hallways, huge cathedral windows, as he opens a door and then starts walking down some steps. He comes into a lecture hall of sorts where a young boy is sitting, extremely... extremely...
We lost
wrong
him.
one. Extremely young looking, windswept blonde hair, and who is studying in this in this lecture hall, gives one of the books to him, smiles kindly before Rawls walks further down into what seems to be a tunnel, and then comes into his personal study, it seems, where there is on the ground the old teleportation circle.
Do we also see all of this?
Yes, you also see all this, so I want you all to make a perception check to see if you can ascertain the...
That was August, you all.
Oh.
Who's August?
August is my little brother. I saw him like 4 years ago. He's grown so much.
4 years ago? You don't see your family regularly?
Well, most of us go to boarding schools and to other stuff, and we have all our own tasks, you see.
I have an -1, but it's a 19, so it's gonna be an 18.
Plus.
Maru and Jessica, you managed to very quickly both jot down combinations that you see on this teleportation circle as
Jesus.
before the minute of the spell, of the 10 minutes of the spell kind of go up, you have written down this combination of sigils, numbers and such, and you feel like you have a good shot. The spell ends, Virgo kind of comes by and says, I think that was rather successful, wasn't it?
Oh, we still
Wow.
got it. Aren't we
got
sneaky
it.
little hags?
Did you see how August has grown?
Oh, he's a very fine gentleman, yes.
How many signals did you got?
Oh, a lot. Well, I think the both of us got everything, right, Maru?
I think we did pretty good together.
Exactly.
Okay, well, Fargo.
Aw.
Margot takes the code and she looks over. She's like, Virgo, shouldn't this translate to a teleportation circle code? First read that line and then there. Of course, it curves around.
Okay, another high Arcana check, as both Virgo and Margot start to piece together this combination and make a full circle, which they then insert into what seems to be the teleportation circle that's on the ground with chalk. And after like 5 minutes, they can look up and say, oh no, 10 minutes is the casting time. They kind of look up and says, it seems to be ready for you.
Oh, well, they aren't only house members that can do dumb shit. Let's let's just go to Sutton.
Right, this isn't...
Let them come home to an empty house for once.
Speaking
Actually,
of
that feels right.
speaking of them,
Uh-huh.
one of you notify the others that
True.
we changed the location
Yeah,
of the house?
although I mean, like, we might have some trouble with the bird now because we have to sort of eject it through the tunnel.
Just go outside!
Just
Use
go.
your legs.
You go outside.
I am going outside!
I'll alert the others, and then we'll be right on our way.
I hate to say, but could you please totally morph me into a cat?
Virgo, it would be my
I
pleasure.
will. We will never talk about this again,
No,
all
I
right?
think we will.
No, we won't. No, we won't. Okay, right. So this is the plan. The teleportation circle's ready.
Uh-huh.
When we go in, you cast polymorph on me to change me into a
Uh-huh.
cat, and I will secretly go with you
Uh-huh.
until you think you're ready to go back. Do you understand? We have an hour there.
I do know that in 1 hour, we can't go through the whole house.
Who is the person we should talk to if we were to bring you back?
Well, the master makes all the decisions, so if we can talk to him, but he's also quite busy and snappy.
How about we just go there and find out later? I mean, come on, we hardly make any plans that
would-
go right.
What?
Exactly.
Well,
No.
there is, of course, over planning is never good.
Uh-huh.
You do know, Eclaire, that your mother and father, Cornelia and Magnus Mavis, great names.
Magnus.
Cornelia Magnus.
Magnus doesn't really talk anymore, doesn't really move anymore. He just sits on his chair, like, rotting away. Cornelia, however, your mother is very much alive and kicking. She's, of course, much younger than him as well, and is, like, the representative of the house at the moment. You saw that August, your younger brother, who's 11 at this moment, is studying still in the cathedral. You saw that Rawls is still there. I didn't see any other of your siblings. Most of them are around your age at this moment, so have probably already left the house as well, or are training in other sort of regiments or encampments at this moment, probably leading them as the paladin or like the figurehead of the military. Maybe the twins are there. You're not sure. And the thought of it kind of gives you shivers already.
Are we ready?
These circles slowly start to complete, and they're at like 95% now. So you get the feeling that it's like done almost. You'll be able to jump.
Okay.
Okay. As you all stand in the circle, hands locked, as you wait for the final sigils to light up, as the last one does, you feel a strange feeling in your gut, almost like it's being pulled, almost like a lift that's falling, right? You feel yourself, ooh, and as you look towards the ground, suddenly this flashbang of light, which you instantly recoil to, and you feel yourself in all dimensions shift almost like you're being pulled towards being a reed and then stretched along and then being widened again. You're like, where am I going?
Let
You
it be
feel this
known, we're
tunnel.
currently standing in the studio, actually holding hands around an imaginary.
This is the most witchy
we're just
thing
walking
ever.
around. All three. Let's jump in the middle. Let's go a little bit fun. 3, 1, 2, 3.
I don't have my weapons.
Before you jump, you feel your feet like getting pulled down as you're sucked into this wormhole, and you think like, oh no, we're gonna fall so long, and as you think that, you're standing in a different room. And it's completely empty as you see a very dark room, completely made of cobblestone walls with torches lining it. You see the study of Rawls, a lot of books chopped open, and you hear footsteps in the distance, but he's not here at the moment.
Hey babes! Before you continue watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our Patreon, where you can help us develop this crazy show further.
It's